Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC Mura here. Today we're gonna talk about Street Fighter 6 mechanics. I like to call it lab discussions. I wanted to make this very casual because today we're gonna talk about our feelings towards Street Fighter 6, and your feelings towards Street Fighter 6 will very likely correlate with your feelings on throw loops, right? What are throw loops if you don't know? Notice here Honda is waking up with a jab, crouching light punch, right? And a throw loop is, if he tries to wake up with that, I can just walk up and throw him again, right? This is very prevalent in this game. The entire roster, with the exception of Honda and I believe Chun-Li, they are the only two characters that can't throw loops. So 16 characters of 18 can, and I think only 3 of them need Drive Rush. They were Marisa, Guile, and I can't remember who else. There was like a third character that can't regular throw loop. Everyone else, well, they can just walk up and throw you again, right? And if you're someone who have been following Street Fighter for some time now, you might be wondering, well, didn't they have this in Street Fighter 5? People complained about them and took them away. Well, yes, they did. Right? Because in Street Fighter 5, you could obviously just walk up and throw someone or shimmy them, and the meaty here was a good option as well, right? This heavy kick was +4, so I could combo out of this. So why are they back? Why are they back? Well, it's back because of drive parry. Because now, if I try to do it, I can get parried, and if I did like a good meaty here, haha, I get perfect parried. Notice I was -21 on this perfect parry. Like Honda, I was getting hella punished, right? And the thing about parries is that they kind of flip the game on its head. A move like Luke's standing heavy kick, this is typically a good move. This is desirable. It's a move with a lot of active frames, so that's good. Because now it means that I am likely to hit an opponent as they're waking up, more likely to meet them because I have a lot of active frames. The move is out there for longer. But now because it's out there for longer, you are more prone to getting parried. A lot of the gameplay decisions in Street Fighter 6, a lot of the interesting design choices are because of parries. Well, then let's circle back. Let's talk back about throws. Let's go back to throws, right? Why are throw loops in the game? I say it because of parries. Currently in this game, the only way you can punish parries are throws, right? If I try to meaty, I get parried. If I try to do something like a super, I get parried. If I try to cross up, like jump on him, this obviously like I mistimed, like he parries as well. Slow overhead, it doesn't matter. Any sort of attack parries, and because they can hold the parry button, even shimmies, etc. are not that great. The only way to currently punish throws in Street Fighter 6 is throws, right? Parries can only be punished by throws, and because Capcom don't want parries to be like the go-to and everyone is waking up parry every time, they figured, well, then let's make throws very powerful. Let's make the throw, especially as a punish counter, do a ton of damage. This is like 20% damage off of throw. That is actually crazy. Throws here are doing almost like a Zangief SBD worth of damage, right? Take a look at how much damage this regular throw is doing, right? And the situation keeps looping because they want a strong deterrent from walking up with a parry, right? And parries are also kind of why moves like E Honda's Headbutt is now -4 on block. And this is nothing new either. If you remember during Street Fighter 5, the final seasons, Capcom, when they introduced V-Shift, they made Balrog's dash straight -4 on block. Regardless of which version you're using, it was -4. And the idea was, well, there is V-Shift now, so he can be more punishable with V-Shift and on block, so let's make his dash straight safer. And people didn't like it, complained about it, but over time they adapted. And now we're kind of in the same boat again. They're figuring, well, the game now got like perfect parries, so if we make Honda's Headbutt too unsafe, the character may not be viable, right? I think that is like the train of thought. Obviously, this still is a tricky thing to do, right? Let's, for example, he'll try to get like a perfect parry on him. If I do here, for example, this is obviously not optimal, but if I get like a perfect parry on him, I did 1100, let's say 1200 damage, right? That's like 12% on the average character, but the funny thing is, a Honda Headbutt is doing 1300. Or 14 if he's using the heavy version. So the Honda special is doing more damage than the parry, right? But because of how the meta is shaping up, the idea here is to parry him, right? Go for a knockdown like that, and then throw loop Honda in the corner. The threat isn't I perfect parry and get the perfect parry punish into big combo, it's I parry him, I put him in the corner, and subject him to the throw loop. And I have like I said, from my experiences, your love-hate relationship with Street Fighter 6 will come down to your feelings on throw loops and parry as a mechanic, because like I said, in many aspects of this game, parry is shaping up the game. From my experience, from what I've seen, typically high-level players don't love parries because now every interaction is a guess, right? I try to meaty, there's always the risk of parry. I try to do a block string, there's always the risk of parry. I throw out a move, there's always the risk of parry. But parries are also good because they introduce the element of possibility. There's always the chance of making a comeback. There is very little situations where you don't have options, right? So what are your thoughts on all of this? How do you see the situation and what are your feelings on the game right now? Me personally, I never really like hated throw loops. I don't think they're the most fun mechanic, but I don't absolutely despise them, right? Because if you are not even like waking up with a parry or like waking up jump, etc., typically you're not getting punished that hard, and it gave a lot of the characters now a defensive option that you really have to think about. So I would love to hear your thoughts about all of this in the comment section below. I will be leaving a link to the Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and Twitch pages in the description. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.